Are you looking for that perfect combination of getting those chest gains in your chest press and bench presses while still being able to maintain that optimal posture? Or maybe you're just tired of ending up tight in your neck and upper back or having low back pain after doing your chest presses. If so, this optimal posture chest press and bench press video is for you. So let's do some learning. As we go through our daily lives, we get compressed just by the very nature of living. And those compressions causes compensations. Compensations we take into the weight room with us. Now, weight training, by the very nature of it, is a compressive activity. So when you bring compensations into the weight room and then lift your weights, you further strengthen your compensations. These compensations can also severely steal your training and your effort and steal your gains. So those are the things that we're going to be addressing in this optimal posture video. How to go into the best alignment, get out of those compensations, and still get that muscle work. So let's begin. We're going to be coming down onto our backs. I don't have a bench, so we will only be demoing on the floor, but I will be giving up progressions and thoughts to consider if you like to do it on a bench where you're able to put your legs down on the floor. So when we're coming down to the floor, we're actually going to start by talking about our hips. And that is because our hips, along with our neck, do a lot of our compensation for us, and they steal our work. So since we have an anterior pelvic tilt, when we go down to lay down, we have this part of our spine that should be able to rest against the ground. But since we have that anterior pelvic tilt, they're up. And we really want to be able to get our hips, that part of our spine and our hips, down in order to stabilize the pelvis so it's not wiggling around trying to help us stabilize and stealing our work. And so that is the first part that we're going to be discussing as we come down and we talk about form. So we're going to come down and you're going to think about tucking your pelvis, using your core, your abs. You don't want to be compressing your glutes to get into this position, to try to get that space between your hip bones down on the ground. If being in this hook-like position isn't doing it for you, you can always start in a 90-degree angle with knees stacked over hips. This kind of helps using the weight of your legs to compress you down in a way that'll help get your hips where you're supposed to be. And then from here, you can progress down to coming more into that hook-lying position. And then using your heels, driving it down, you can kind of help stabilize and strengthen it while you're doing your chest press. And then as you progress on, you can increase your hip extension here, bringing it out, so like you'd have your knees bent on a bench, and then being able to go into that good position in the hips for that full bench press with your feet on the floor. For the rest of the demo, though, we'll be using the hook-lying position because this is a very good position to teach you how to stabilize the rest of your spine in this position. So from here, let's go to the upper body, our head and neck. So when you are laying down on a floor or on a bench, you want to make sure that you're actually resting down so that your neck is nice and loose and the weight of your head is actually resting on whatever is underneath to you. It is very common for people to kind of just be tense and to be floating, and then they're doing their chest press like this, and then you have all this tension here, trying to stabilize your upper body and stealing that weight because that weight's going into your neck rather than into your pecs. So nice and loose neck. We're going to reach our hands up here, feeling that space between our shoulder blades, relaxing down into the ground. And this is our starting point with that little bit of a reach, little bit of relaxing. Now we want our shoulder to be able to go through the full range of motion while we're going into here. So we start with that space between, and then we bring it down, bringing our shoulder blades together towards our spine, flattening onto the mat. Then we come here, wrists are stacked over elbows. So you got that knuckle, wrist, elbow stacked out to the sides. And then you press up. Now, how wide and where to put it? You're going to want your elbows at least 45 degrees. So your hands are like right in the middle of your eye line. And then as you come down, you're going to come out to that 45 degrees. So you do not want to be at 90. That's just going to compromise your shoulder and you're not going to get your work. And then between 45 and coming in, you're still going to want space between your arm and your chest, because if you go too far close, then you're just going to be working all triceps. So the further out you get here, you'll get more pecs. And you reach out and you have that good form. So that light pressure into the heels to stabilize your hips. Nice loose neck. Got to do that reach, and then you bring it down and up. Let's do this, and then we'll go through that with the weight. So that's all the steps and things you want to consider if you want optimal form in your chest press and bench presses. So you bring that weights pacing down, little light pressure into those heels. You find that reach, and then here we go. There's my middle of my eye line. Coming down, trying to get those knuckles stuck over elbows. Got to slow it down at the top. At the bottom, sorry. Slow it down at the bottom. And then you reach and then back down. And then if you want a little bit more, when you come up, you can either pull that bar apart to get that nice, strong pull at the top to set your arms, or you can think about just rotating your armpits in a little bit. Not your armpits, your elbow pits in a little bit. So just a small little shift of the lower part of your arm while keeping your hands static. So you bring it down, reach, twist the humerus just slightly to get that little extra squeeze of the pecs at the top. And there you have it. Chest press and bench press in a good form that's not going to make you feel like you're compressed and crappy afterwards. So I hope that was helpful. Please let me know please let me know in the comments what you thought about that, or what other videos you might want to see how to do with optimal posture that can help improve your posture throughout everything that you do in life, not only in the weight room. Please check out the rest of our optimal playlist. Like, subscribe, all those good things. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in another video.